We're already into the fifth month of the year. I want you to think back to the start of the year, 1 January 2024. Think back to all the plans you had for the new year and how much you've actually achieved since then, right? The halfway point of the year beckons, right? We have like less than 2 months until we're halfway through the year. Halfway through the year, you should have made pretty decent progress towards all your big goals. Now compare that to where you actually are. Underwhelming, right? Now I want you to think back to January 2023, right? Over a year ago. Think about the plans you had back then. I want you to do the same exercise. A little bit underwhelming, quite underwhelming actually, right? A year and a half, kind of wasted, right? Maybe you've done some things, but you haven't done it to the level that you wish you would have done it at. You haven't made anywhere near as much progress as you wish you would have. Now go back to January 2022, 2.5 years ago. Do the same exercise. Right? Now go back to Jan 2020. Right? I know for me it's something it kind of annoys me how much time I wasted in 2020 because, perfect time. 2020 was the perfect time for you to go into like a monk mode and make serious progress. Right? But you can give yourself, you can cut yourself some slack. You couldn't have known if you went on self-improvement. But either way, think back to how much time has passed since then. 4.5 years. How much have you achieved since then? I'm sure you had dreams. You had dreams in 2020, right? I know for me, it was my first year of university. I had dreams of like how much I was going to change my life. And I'm actually going to tell you a story towards the end of this video of like how that was actually like a wake-up call for me. But do the same exercise. 4.5 years ago, all the things you had planned. Think back. I think this is what I'm trying to get at. Think back. Really take yourself. It's 1 January 2020, right? Take yourself back to that moment. All the hopes and dreams you had. Imagine if I told you, May 2024, this is where you're going to be at. How would you feel? Just think about it, right? How would you feel about that? Yeah, not so good, right? Now, I started off with speaking about how we're halfway through the year. Now, I want you to flip this exercise. We've gone back to see how you've not really achieved as much as you wish you would have. Now I want you to project that. Flip it, right? The last 6 months, right? I know we're still in the fifth month, but let's say June. It's June 30, right? 6 months. Project your last 6 months into the next 6 months of your life. If your next 6 months are exactly the same as your last 6 months, how would you feel, right? A waste of 2024. It's a waste of a year. I think we could probably all agree, like, well, not all of us, but if you're doing really well this year, then props to you. But if you're watching this video, probably not as well as you wish you would have been doing, right? Kind of a waste of a year, like not that great. Right now, let's go back to Jan 2023. Project the last year and a half of your life, right? Project that into the next year and a half of your life. Think end of 2025, right? You're starting 2026 basically. Imagine if by 2026, right, the next 1.5 years of your life exactly the same as the last 1.5 years of your life. Yeah, not that great, right? I spoke about how you should take yourself back to 1 January 2024, right? 2020, just 2020 in general. Okay, 1 January 2020, right? Take yourself 4.5 years ago. I want you to project the last 4 years into the next 4 years of your life. Now, I know a lot of people watching this video are probably quite young, probably around my age, probably younger, maybe a little bit older. But I'm 21. I'm 22 in the next week. But by the time this video comes out, I'll be 22. But in this moment, I'm 21, right? But let's say I'm 22, right? If my last 4 years are exactly the same as my next 4 years, right? I'll be 26, right? That's big. That is big, right? Because now all of a sudden, right? Now, my last 4 years have probably been, in terms of progress-wise, they've been the best 4 years of my life in terms of how much progress I've made. But again, not nowhere near as much progress as I wish I would have made. If my next 4 years are literally like the last 4 years of my life, I mean, it's a hard one because I have made progress, but in general, I'll be disappointed, right? And that's a little bit scary, right? It's a little bit scary because then I'll be 26. It's different to now, the last couple of years. I'm still 22, right? I can still change things. But again, even if I'm 26 and I haven't achieved as much as I wish I would have achieved, yeah, more than half of my 20s would have been gone. but you know, it's still salvageable, right? So it's scary, but it's still salvageable. Now, take yourself, right? I'm using myself as an example. Take yourself to 26, right? Let's say, okay, now it's 26. I've projected the last 4 years of my life into the next 4 years of my life. I'm 26. Sorry if you guys feel like this is a lot of maths, but come on, it's basic maths, guys. Come on, this is grade 4 maths. Come on, it's not too bad, right? So say I'm 26 now, right? So now I've had these last 8 years that have been not great, right? I'm 26. I've wasted the next 4 years of my life. Not great. Now, let me project the last 8 years of my life into the next 8 years of my life, right? So from 26, if those next 8 years, the ages of 26 to 34 are exactly the same as what my life would have been from 18 to 26, now that is devastating, because now I'm 34, right? Now things have been set in stone. Not really set in stone. You can still change, but now it's a lot more difficult to change. It's one thing to be sitting at 22, sitting here at 22, being like, the last couple of years have not been what I really wanted them to be. You know, it's something like, oh, I can improve and I should improve. But when you're 34, that's difficult. It's a difficult one to change. And that right there is the kicker. We lack urgency in our lives. We really and truly do. Even us guys on self-improvement, right? Because the idea, right, that we tell ourselves in our head is that, like, it's okay. Like, I'm doing it now. I'm 22. Right? I'm doing it. I'm 21, but turning 22, right? I'm doing it now. I'll procrastinate, right? Or whatever it is. Like, oh, I won't go as hard as I should be. But I rest easy in the fact, right? In the knowledge, right? In the assumption that one day I'll change it. But as I've just done this exercise with you of projecting your years into the future, right? One day I'll change it. That one day is passing you by every single day, and every day that passes by, that one day is coming, right? You're losing the chance to do it. One day you're gonna wake up and you'll be 34, 35, and you've let life pass you by, and you're gonna look back with so much regret, so much. And I think that's the worst thing about regret, right? I've never truly had true regret. I mean, I hope I never do, right? But from what I've heard and my understanding of it, the most painful part about regret is that you can't do anything to change it. You don't want to be in that position, right? It is absolutely terrible. So I'm just looking at my notes to see if I missed anything in terms of what I'm supposed to be speaking about, right? But yeah, the thing is, it's not just about how much time you've wasted, but it's about how much time you're going to continue to waste, right? Because I've spoken about this, about how all it takes is 2 weeks to change your life. In the last video, I kind of mentioned that as well, right? It's like, what you've done in the last couple of weeks in the last couple of months, whatever it is, right, is a good projection, right, of what you're going to do in your next couple of weeks, unless something drastic changes, right? So if we just take it as a baseline with most people, right, we're humans, we've got patterns. I spoke about your subconscious brain and how it aligns you with who it believes you to be, right? If you've always done something a certain way, you're going to continue to do it that way unless something changes, right? And if you're someone who's been wasting your time on self-improvement, you've kind of been doing self-improvement, but you've kind of been on and off. If that's what you've been doing the last 2 years, chances are that's what you're going to be doing the next 2 years. If that's what you've been doing the last 5 years, chances are that's what you're going to be doing the next 5 years, right? So that's going to be the case unless something changes, right? And I think that I spoke earlier about how in 2020, I had all these plans. I just started college, right? This is how I managed to actually get onto self-improvement consistently. What happened was that, I graduated end of 2019. I graduated high school, right? Then 2020, it's I'm starting university, fresh, new me. It's different. It's not even a new year, new me kind of thing. It's bro, clean slate. You go to college, you get to reinvent yourself, right? It's I was yes, right? I'm going to completely change myself, become this person. And then, you know what happened in 2020, and then just kind of lazy. I was trying to be on self-improvement, but I was also I ended up just being lazy most of the year, right? Then come 2021, it was early in 2021, I spoke to this friend I hadn't spoken to since I graduated, right? So it had been a year, and for me, bro, something hit. Something hit me, bro. Right? Because I was like, damn, the last time I spoke to this person, I was in high school, right? I had all these plans. I was so excited. Me, like I'm starting fresh college, like completely get to reinvent myself. I was so excited, right? And a year has passed and what? Nothing, right? So the last time I saw you, I had all these plans for what I was going to change. A significant amount of time has passed and nothing has changed. And for me, what scared me wasn't just that I'd wasted a year, because, like I said, you're young. At that point, I think it was 2021, so I was 18, 2019, right? That's not bad. It's like, oh, I've wasted a year. You know, like, okay, I need to wake up a bit, but it's just a year. Like, it's not too bad. What scared me was that was kind of like a mini preview of like a reunion, right? Because the last time you see people at high school, and then the next time you see them is like at like some high school reunion, right? When you're like 30 or something, right? And I thought to myself, I'm like most people, right? And I think that's one thing we need to realize. We're not the only people with dreams. Everyone has dreams. We want to have goals we want to achieve, right? But it's important to be self-aware enough to look back and be like, I'm not on the path to achieving those things. Something has to change, right? So like most people, right? When you're at the end of your high school reunion, right? Like, if you're not really happy with your life, you're like, the next time I see these people, my life's gonna be completely changed. I'm gonna have this, and that. I'm gonna have done this, and that, right? And in that moment, I had a preview of what it would feel like to show up at that reunion with regret, like to look back and be like, mm. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I do not want that to be me. Right? It's kind of, it's okay now. I'm 18. I've wasted like the last year of my life, and I've kind of gotten a preview of like, oh yeah, the last time I spoke to you, I had all these plans, but I haven't achieved anything. All right? It's a whole different ballgame when you're like 30 and you're coming back, people with like families and stuff, to high school reunion. You're like, damn, the last time I spoke to you, I was so young. I had all these plans and dreams, and I never achieved them. That got to sting. That has got to sting. And for me, ever since then, that's when I was like, nah, I'm on self-improvement, bro. I'm on self-improvement. I'm not doing this thing again where I'm just completely like stuffing self-improvement. But that was it there. Like, the sense of urgency was kicked into me because I was made to see the bigger picture, not just in terms of this is how much time I've wasted, but this is how much time I'm going to waste if I carry on like this. And it's not going to be a pretty picture because I won't be able to change it. But yeah, this was kind of just a video telling you to just put some urgency, right? Like, really think about it long term, because time is just passing you by, and you don't want that to happen. You don't want to wake up one day when it's too late and just realize how much time has passed you by. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think of the topic in the comment section below. Make sure you hit subscribe to join the Self-Improvement Brotherhood, and until next time, see you boys.